South Africa's status as a major player on the off-road motor racing world stage will take a huge step forward at the beginning of January. The Imperial Toyota Hilux factory team will lead an assault on the 2012 edition of the Dakar Rally in South America from January the 1st to the 15th, with 4 South African-built cars tackling the world's toughest motor race. A local legend and motorcyclists will complete the South African connection on a global event that every year keeps motorsport enthusiasts spellbound. It's exactly 20 years ago that the Paris-Dakar Rally Le Cap finished on the beach at Milnerton Lagoon in Cape Town. Thousands of motorsport enthusiasts crowded into Milnerton and surrounding suburbs to witness the finish of a marathon race that was to have major sporting and socio-political spin-offs for a country in the process of undergoing major changes.
We've got Fabrizia Pons and at the team launch in South Africa's Wishes.
Paris Le Cap also saw the start of a South African love affair with the Dakar Rally that launched Janelle de Villiers and Alfie Cox into international stardom.
It's not. There's not any single memory that's good. It's been the whole experience for me because it's been my first race and just every stage and it's never over until the flag drops. But it's just an incredible experience driving through the desert and the sea.
I think when I was falling, I was making sole and it's broken in the shoulder, but no operation, and I only have some weeks. But out of the race, 5 Dakars, 5 starts, 5 finishes, and the 6th one was not so good for me.
For Cape-born and bred Janelle de Villiers, the dream came true when he and German co-driver Dirk van Zitzewitz won the 2009 Dakar Rally in South America in a Volkswagen Touareg.
2009 Dakar. Volkswagen victorious for the very first time on the world's toughest motorsport event. On this year's event, second, the American Mark Miller.
The South African assault will be led by 09 winners de Villiers and van Zitzewitz and former SA champion Duncan Voss and Rob Howie in a pair of Imperial Toyota Hilux entries. The cars competed in South Africa's National ABSA Off-Road Championship and have been rebuilt to Dakar specifications. ABSA Championship regular Mark Corbett makes his Dakar Rally debut, and sitting alongside him will be former SA co-drivers champion Francois Jordan. They will be out in the futuristic-looking Century Racing CR4, designed and built in South Africa, and it sports a body configuration in line with international buggy regulations. 2 other Toyota Hilux entries built by the Hall Speed will see Argentinians Lucio Alvarez and Bernard Grau and Spanish driver Orlando Terranova and co-driver Lucas Cruz tackle this year's Dakar. The Rainbow Nation onslaught will be completed by one of South Africa's most decorated motorsport personalities, Alfie Cox, alongside regular Dakar co-driver Jürgen Schroeder in a Volvo. On the motorcycle front, multiple SA champion Daryl Curtis will get to live his dream. When Nissan withdrew from motorsport at the end of 2009, it was the end of an era in South African off-road racing. Nissan's withdrawal saw Glyn Hall switch camps in 2010 to take over as team principal of the Castrol Toyota factory team competing in the ABSA Off-Road Championship. Hall Speed moved its operation to a new state-of-the-art premises in Barbecue Downs in Midrand, with the company overseeing Toyota's challenge in the ABSA Off-Road Championship and carrying on the tradition of building and supplying race cars to international teams. The springboard for South Africa's assault on Dakar 2012 is indeed the ABSA Off-Road Championship. The ABSA series has long been considered the most competitive domestic competition of its kind in the world, and the 8 events spread throughout South Africa and Botswana provide for huge challenges in terms of variety of terrain and the conditions. With regular fields of more than 70 cars, the ABSA Off-Road Championship is a role model for other categories of motor racing in South Africa. The Imperial Assault on the Dakar Rally 2012 was officially launched at a glittering function in Johannesburg with the who's who of motorsport in attendance.
A great day for South African motorsport. To see South African built motor vehicles, South African drivers, South African team going to the Dakar. Yes, they've been there before, but we're really going in full force this year, and we've got to wish them all the best.
Toyota SA has been a staunch supporter of off-road racing in South Africa for more than 3 decades and now gets the opportunity to play on the world stage.
Well, you know, the Dakar is the most grueling and I think important off-road event in the world. It's an international event. Our dealers group wanted to go and participate, and we said, well, we'll support it to prove quality, durability and reliability. And also the South African team has been participating in the South African series for a long time. We just felt it's an opportunity for them also to go and participate on the international stage.
The careers of Janelle de Villiers and other South Africans competing on the Dakar Rally have been closely interlinked with Glenn Hall's role as team manager. Hall has played a mentoring role for a string of drivers, and for de Villiers, joining the Toyota squad is almost like coming home.
It's great to be back with the sort of the old team, and you know, all the guys are here helping and trying to do their best to get us to Dakar, and you know, to get us there in the best possible shape. And you know, it's that race is such a great team effort, and I know I've got a good bunch of guys behind me.
Multiple South African circuit racing and off-road champion Duncan Vos is another race driver who has had a long and successful association with Hall. For Vos, competing on the Dakar Rally is like a dream come true.
Yeah, it's fantastic, you know, it's obviously a dream come true for a lot of us, you know, being able to do a race like the Dakar. That's what any racing or off-road racing driver will aspire to. So yeah, it's come together for a lot of us, and obviously we're thrilled and hoping to do the best that we can.
An excited Duncan Vos will link up with regular ABSA Series co-driver Rob Howie, while de Villiers will again be paired with German co-driver Dirk von Zitzewitz, with whom he shared the 2009 Dakar Rally triumph.
Good experience, especially with our new Toyota Hilux. The car is running like hell in the dunes, and it's big fun. And I have to say, I'm really impressed about the performance of the car here in the dunes.
The Dakar crosses 3 countries and covers 9,000 kilometers. It's teamwork and trust between driver and co-driver that are prerequisites for success.
Somehow it's easy to get lost, but on the other side you have got a compass bearing you have to follow, and it's my job mainly to keep the driver, Janelle, on this line, and he's of course looking for a good way through the dunes, and I have to see that he's staying more or less in the direction we want to go. Besides that, of course, you're looking for the dunes, and sometimes situations you're quite worried about steep downhills or getting stuck, so that's a special situation in the dunes.
For Dakar Rally rookies Duncan Vos and Rob Howie, racing in the desert will be a new experience, with the pair thankful for the opportunity to go testing in Namibia in between ABSA domestic championship commitments.
Yeah, look, to be honest, the test in Namibia, the dunes are very humbling for anybody, whether you're walking through them or driving through them. It's a big lesson, and they are a lot bigger than we are. So, but from what we take out of it is that you need to just relax and bide your time. Getting stuck is going to cost a lot more time than maybe having a second look. So we are obviously very fortunate to have dune experience where many teams overseas don't have the access. So we have to take that information and that experience and learn from it as much as we can.
Faced with a steep learning curve and limited time at their disposal, the Imperial Toyota team took full advantage of having the ideal testing ground right on their doorstep in Namibia.
The Namibia test was excellent. It was really good for us. We found a lot of the things that we thought we knew, we didn't know, and that's what testing's all about. And we confirmed a lot of items that we were working on. So all in all, it was an excellent test, and we really went forward.
Juggling between testing commitments in Namibia and competing in the final round of the ABSA Championship, the Imperial Toyota team was always involved in a race against time.
The team's in really maximum speed now. There's an immense amount of energy within the people. We're on the home run. The cars are getting their final assembly. The parts are getting assembled and built, and we're starting the packing. So a lot of excitement, but an extremely lot of hard work.
Apart from the responsibility of running the 2 Imperial Toyota Hilux entries on the Dakar Rally, Allspeed has also built 2 Hilux models for the European-based Overdrive team, overseen by South African Scott Abraham. Allspeed will also supply backup services for the Overdrive team, with the operation a massive logistical undertaking.
Logistics are huge. It's one of those things I always say is if you don't have a job on the Dakar, then you did a good job when it comes to logistics. You know, there's everything from the hotels to the entries to the flight plans. There's your classic logistics, but then there's also special logistics, last-minute parts which come from suppliers, or just making sure the big 26-ton 8x8 assistance trucks are ready, the race trucks which will be in the race. You know, all the small details down to what are the drivers' favorite food, and taking care of the drivers is obviously important, because they're the ones who ultimately bring home gold, but without the team behind them in a good way, then it's impossible.
The Overdrive team has close links with Toyota Motorsport. Earlier this year, Overdrive tested and took delivery of 2 Toyota Hilux models designed and built by Hall Speed at their Midrand facility, and provides the local team with logistical support.
We have 2 customers on the Dakar, Orlando Terranova and Lucio Alvarez, 2 Argentinians with quite a bit of Dakar experience. Orlando's won international races, and Lucio finished 15th on the Dakar last year with a vehicle which was definitely not the spec of the Toyota. The team itself, we've won multiple Baja Cups and World Cups with our vehicles previously, also supplied from South Africa. And yeah, we're the logistics partner for the Imperial Toyota team on the Dakar, providing logistics support and handling the European operations.
The massive effort going into the Dakar Rally will have long-term implications for Toyota and Toyota Motorsport, as well as the Imperial Group and the other players involved in the project. Perhaps the most important aspect of the undertaking is that it showcases South African motorsport to a worldwide audience.
I think for any racer, the dream is to have full manufacturer support. Toyota South Africa, as well as Imperial Toyota, have been hugely involved in the project as a whole, not only for the local team but for Overdrive. You know, we've been able to get some very, very high-level cars, and obviously Glenn and his team stand behind that, and they've worked day and night for the past 6 months to get this ready. But I think Toyota worldwide, there is definitely interest. We have huge support from Toyota Argentina on the Dakar in terms of vehicles, press, marketing, and it's been really good working with them. Toyota Belgium has come on board with us, and we'll have events with them next year. So I think it's really, we've got to look at this as a long-term project, and any manufacturer, we have to bring the results first, and hopefully we can deliver on what we're dreaming of delivering, and then we can see for next year.
It's a grand old game, and I will play it as such. I will be courteous and respectful towards my opponent. I will accept the on-field decision with polite decorum. Vengeance will not form part of my vocabulary. I will play the game, not the man, and be compassionate towards any misfortune. Should I better my rival, I will be modest in my celebration. Dignity will partner my defeat. Humility will partner my victory. This is, after all, a gentleman's game.
Absolutely fantastic scenes here at Coca-Cola Park for the first time since 2002. It's red and white flags waving. There goes the siren. The Lions will be the 2011 AFSA Currie Cup champions. It's a team effort, no neighbours, but from this year on, lots to be expected from these youngsters.
Okay, I tell you everything. This is about a pledge. It's about a devotion to La Famiglia. Milan, Turin, Roma, Napoli. This is about praying you cross the line and begging for mercy when you don't. It's about living and breathing for the Scudetto and making sure business is taken care of. This is about the Serie A, exclusive to Supersport.
In an ambitious project, a privateer South African team will also take on the best in the world on the 2012 Dakar Rally. The Century Property Racing team has entered a locally designed and built car, the CR4, to be campaigned by Mark Corbett and Francois Jordan.
So now to the moment we've all been waiting for the car. Julian and Rudy, it's really your creation, so you want to unveil it? Yeah, it definitely is a dream. I think second time lucky this time. The first time we ended up with a terrorist threat, so it got cancelled, but this time we were all set to go. I think it's quite a logistical exercise this time. We're taking all our own service trucks from here, all our own spares. This time it's our own design from a car point of view. I think everybody's seen us race the local championship, and we're on version 4 of the car. So hopefully we sorted out all the reliability issues and we're off.
Century Property Development is a family-owned and run business, and the Dakar Rally project has taken on a fun element for the Corbett family.
Yeah, it definitely is. My mum and dad are coming with on the racing side, and it definitely is a fun exercise for us. I mean, of course, it's serious. We want to win the two-wheel drive class at Dakar, and that's our real goal this year, to go there and give it a go for that. But at the same time, you must have fun.
Competing in the Dakar Rally has long been a priority for Century Racing, and the futuristic-looking CR4 has been developed over the last couple of seasons in the ABSA Off-Road Championship.
Yeah, there's quite a few changes to the race car. Obviously, it's FIA, the main changes, in terms of safety with fuel cells and roll cage. In the Dakar, we'll run a lot more fuel. In local races, you get to refuel every 200 kilometers, but Dakar, you have to essentially run 800 or 900 Ks without refueling, so we've got 450 litres on board. And the car will weigh a lot more in Dakar form with onboard jacks. But our car is quite unique, you know. Most of the two-wheel drive cars in Dakar run a trailing arm suspension, and we'll be the only ones there with A-arm rear. So I think we stand a good chance.
The Dakar Rally is a unique event, and the approach taken to the race by the Corbett family and the Century Racing team is like a breath of fresh air.
I think it's fairly unique for a South African team to be participating. I think we're the first privateer team that's going to participate with a fully South African built car and prepared car. It really is something different. And it's a unique design, you know. It's really our design that we've perfected over the last 4 years. So hopefully we can pull it off. I think it'll be a great thing for South Africa on the world stage.
The Century Racing team took a leaf out of the Toyota book and also headed for Namibia to shake down the car and for the crew to get a feel for desert and real sand racing.
Yeah, we went down to Southwest, up to Southwest to go testing, and we really had a great time up there. I think we underestimated how difficult the dunes are going to be in Dakar. It was quite an exercise to learn how to drive on them again after Dubai. I'd forgotten a lot in 4 years, so it was really good to get there. And I think Francois is definitely one of the most competent navigators I know, and I think he'll be a real asset on the team.
Former South African champion Francois Jordan is another Nissan Motorsport old boy who served under Glenn Hall and will sit alongside Corbett in a team packed with off-road experience.
Francois is navigating for me. He was going to navigate last time we were in Dakar, and it got cancelled. And then Colin Matthews, who's in our team, he races us, he's going to be there. And then, of course, Rudy and Julian. Rudy's responsible for the design of the car and through all the various iterations on our CR4. He really is a kind of benchmark of the team, and without him we wouldn't be going. I think he's done all the logistics. And there's Rudy, who builds the cars and preps them and navigates them here locally. And then John is coming with, that navigated in the past. My dad's coming with. Obviously we've had to detune the Dodge for him. We're worried that he'll get into the spectator race. My mom's coming to kind of keep my dad under control a bit. When we converted the Dodge from left-hand drive to right-hand drive, we left the brake pedal on the left-hand side just to calm him down. And that's it. That's the team.
Motorsport competitors are eternal optimists and are always up for a challenge. Francois Jordan will arrive at the Dakar Rally full of confidence.
I think our chances are pretty good. We went up to Swakopmund for 3 days of testing in the dunes, so it's very similar to what we're going to experience. And the car is very good. I'm pleasantly surprised with the traction, with the way it gets out the dunes. It's going to be a great test of skill of driving and navigating, but the vehicle is surely up to it.
The Century Racing CR4 will be competing in the two-wheel drive buggy category. The car is powered by a Lexus V8 engine, and the lack of four-wheel drive doesn't bother Jordan at all.
Yes, it's a two-wheel drive division car. It's not a four-wheel drive as the normal Nissans, Toyotas and the other ones out there. It's got the advantage that you may carry the deflation system, and you may also have a 6-speed gearbox, which gives you a bit of more top-end speed. So that's the advantages. It's very light as well, and I think we'll do pretty well in the dunes.
The experienced Jordan has been on a sabbatical from off-road racing for a season or two, but doesn't see a lack of activity as a drawback of any sort.
No, I've been with Mark in the car previous years. We did some testing for the previous Dakar together, and he's a professional driver, and I think I'm a professional navigator, so it's a bit of a language that you got to adapt to, but there's no other problems with that. He's a very easy guy to be with. He listens carefully, and I think it's going to be a super event for us both.
The logistics of competing on the Dakar Rally are a major undertaking. For the Century Racing squad, this department has been taken care of by Mark Corbett's father, Ernest, who is himself a former off-road race driver and a fierce competitor.
Okay, well, the truck behind us here, I don't know if you'll get that just now, but that's essentially the support, the technical support with the spare engines, gearboxes and so on. And what they do is they leave the bivouac in the morning and go to the next bivouac, which is where, of course, the pits are. And this vehicle here is what is called a chase vehicle. And essentially what that does is it goes with the competing vehicle to the start, just to make sure last-minute things are you there to handle if it's needed. And then we have to get to the end of the race section by the time they get there, hopefully. And then we have technical guys with us in this car, in this truck. They check the car out, and if it's okay to drive, we go with it in tandem to the bivouac and prepare it for the next day's race.
Keeping the Century Racing CR4 going will be the responsibility of crew chiefs Rudy Balzar and Julian Hardy, and the pair will not be short of bits and pieces to keep Mark Corbett and Francois Jordan in the race.
Well, we've got a spare engine, which is not actually a changing engine, but we can strip parts off the engine. We've taken 2 gearboxes. We'll take basically all the sensors, all the parts of the engines, consumables, plenty of consumables, a whole lot of drive shafts, hubs. It's basically two and a half, sometimes even parts for 3 cars. We'll have enough spares now next year for the whole year, just in the spares that we've got here now.
The SA Challenge on 4 wheels should be taken seriously at Dakar 2012. The South African Challenge on the Dakar Rally 2012 will not be confined to 4 wheels. Veteran off-road motorcycle champion Daryl Curtis tackles the Dakar for the first time and will lead a squad of drivers who will fly the South African flag in the motorcycle category.
Well, we're in final preparations for our 2012 Dakar. We've just come back from a trip in the dunes in Namibia with Ingo Waldschmidt. He taught us quite a lot about riding the sand.
The experienced Curtis has been around for more years than he cares to remember, but is relishing the challenge that the Dakar Rally offers the motorcycle brigade.
Yeah, I think it's everybody's dream to go and do Dakar, since early days. We've all watched it, and now finally Broadlink can give me the opportunity to go and live my dream. And yeah, it's my first Dakar, and it's going to be a new experience for me.
Motorcycle regulations have been changed slightly for next year's Dakar Rally, with the veteran South African set to tackle the marathon event on a KTM.
Well, this is the new KTM factory replica. It's a 450cc, which of course, the Dakar organisers have limited to 450cc's this year. Last year we could still get away with riding a 690 in the amateur classes, but that's no more. It's only 450 in the motorcycle category. It's as close to the factory bikes as can be, almost identical. And I think it's down to the rider at the end of the day.
Off-road legend Alfie Cox pioneered South African motorcycle participation on the Dakar Rally, with a KwaZulu-Natal rider for many years, an integral part of the powerful KTM factory team.
There are 4 South Africans going on motorcycles this year. There's myself. I'll be sponsored by Broadlink, which is your corporate telecoms solutions provider. Greg Raff and Neil Scott Williams from Subtech, and Ian Stevenson from Comsol. And of course we've got our adopted Kiwi going along as well, Chris Birch, and he'll be riding for Comsol as well.
Preparing for the world's toughest race is time-consuming and needs attention to detail. Apart from mechanical work on machinery, Curtis and other members of the squad have also been hard at work preparing physically for 2 weeks in the saddle.
There's loads of preparation, besides the mechanical work on the bike, there's lots of physical preparation, lots of mountain biking. I've been doing Pilates with P6 Pilates Studio, and of course time on the bike. I've been riding my 300 XCW in the mountains, in the rocks, and that gives you a lot of physical strength. And we've still had a lot of events in between, and we've done the Red Bull Sea to Sky in Turkey, again going straight back into Namibia, and every weekend we spend on a motorcycle.
The Dakar Rally will cap a long and illustrious career for Daryl Curtis. Despite all his vast experience, the South American Classic will be a completely new challenge for the popular rider who has his sights set on a top 10 finish.
Well, there's lots of pressure, you know. Everybody looks back to Alfie Cox's days when he was on a motorcycle and his successes. There's lots of pressure on me to do well, and my goal is to go and finish Dakar. And I think if I finish, I'm going to do well. The goal will obviously be to be a top 10 finisher, and yeah, who knows? I'm going to take each day as it comes, and if I feel comfortable, I'll push on each day. But at this stage, I haven't done it before, so it's all new, and I'm going to take each day as it comes.
And then there is the man who's won more South African motorsport championships than any other competitor. For this legend in off-road racing, the love affair with the Dakar Rally continues, and this year he will be competing for the 11th time.
Yeah, you know, I started with a motorcycle 7 times on the bike, and you want to walk away from it, but it's 11 times coming up now, and it's crazy, really. It's like a drug, you know. You go back to that race, and yeah, the bikes. I spend a lot of time on my motorcycle, but I just think I had 30 years of it, and you know, when do you really want to stop? And I had a really good innings on a motorcycle. Yeah, sure, I'd like to race a couple of masters, because I can race in the master class now when you're getting close to 50, but motorcycles always in my blood, will never go away. But this year, for next year, very exciting things for us. You know, we're in the new Volvo, a Swedish-made vehicle. So we're going in the new Volvo XC60, the diesel, for the Dakar, and very exciting at the moment.
The Evergreen Cox will again be partnered on the Dakar Rally by German businessman Jürgen Schroeder, who owns the PS Laser team, with the two friends competing together for the 4th time in South America.
Yeah, Jürgen obviously is the owner and the sponsor of the team, and you know, really in a great position with Jürgen, where he's the navigator, I'm the driver, and also to give me that opportunity and you know, to let him fulfill his dreams as well, you know.
For up-to-the-minute coverage of all the drama of the Dakar Rally 2012, tune into Supersport, your World of Champions, between January the 1st and the 15th. Check daily transmission times in your local media or on your electronic program guide. We're confident that the Rainbow Nation flag will be flying high in Chile, Argentina and Peru during Dakar Rally 2012.